What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. You may notice the acoustics and our locale is a little bit different. Obviously, this video is very special. It's week 17 in the NFL, so I thought we'd take it to a new location this week. We are on location at the filming location for the 2013 Bridgewater's Finest Awards in conjunction with the Resident Movie Lover blog at residentmovielover.blogspot.ca. Link is in the description. But that doesn't matter right now because right now it is week 17 of my weekly NFL pick show for the 2013-2014 NFL season. Well, folks, we're really hitting the stride now. We had a great week in Week 16. We're going to talk about the Week 16 results. Before we get into Week 17, I've also got the culmination of my fantasy football season, which we're going to talk about at the end of the video. And we're also going to talk about what I predict will be the playoff matchups after Week 17. Week 16 results, we're going to start with the top two against the spread and over-under. Had an extremely good week against the spread and over-under. We'll start with the over-under because that's where I actually got one wrong. I was 1-1 in Week 16 on the over-under. I told you to take Philly-Chicago to go over 56 points. That one worked out. But I told you to take Houston-Denver over 51, and they scored exactly 50. So that did not work out for me. 1-1 in Week 16, 15-16-1 on the season. So I am still within striking distance of finishing over 500 on the over-unders. But we go to against the spread, and I am on fire against the spread. Another 2-0 week for me last week. I told you to take Arizona plus 10.5. Arizona ends up winning that game 17-10, so that was huge. I also told you to take Carolina -3 in that tight divisional game with New Orleans. That worked out, so I was 2-0 there. 19-13 on the year against the spread, and I am running real hot with those picks. I'm guaranteed to finish over 500 against the spread, my first year picking against the spread, so I'm real happy about that, and look for big changes to the top two, the betting picks for next season's show. I've also guaranteed myself an over 500 finish overall with the top two against the spread and over-under. Currently sitting at 34, 29-1. So even if I go 0-4 in Week 17, I'm still finishing over 500, and that's a real good feeling. Taking a look at the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks from Week 16, swept the board again. Bronze pick, I told you to take San Fran to beat Atlanta. That worked out a little closer than we thought, 34-24. Silver pick, I told you to take San Diego to beat Oakland. That worked out 26-13, doubled them up. In the gold pick, I told you to take Cincinnati to beat Minnesota. They tramped over Minnesota 42-14. And the platinum pick was the Denver Broncos to beat Houston. That, of course, worked out 37-13, 50 points. Screwed me on the over-under. So I swept the board on the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. Those ratings now, platinum pick, I'm 15-1 on the year, only one missed platinum pick all year. Gold pick was 14-2. Silver pick still the most susceptible at 11-5, but the bronze pick was 13-3. And overall, straight up in Week 16, I had a very successful 10-6 week. 146 up, 93 down with one tie in the 89th percentile on Yahoo, crawling closer and closer to that 90th percentile. In the private pick'em, I remain in third place out of 22 with 1,312 out of 1,929 possible confidence points for a 68% clip. And in Week 16, I raked in a very good score of 92 out of 136 possible confidence points for an equal clip of 68%. Shout out to our Week 16 winner, Steven. Steven goes 10-6, equal to me, a single point better with his confidence points. 93 out of 136, an equal 68% clip. So congratulations there to Steven. And Jayshon McCutownler, or whatever, Chicago_span on Twitter, make sure you follow him, still leading the pack, 152 up, 87 down, and 1, so 6 up, 6 down, better than me. 1,353 out of 1,929 possible confidence points for a clip of 70%. So it's still close. It's now kind of 4 horses in that race there. It's getting a little closer, which is nice. It's always good to see. But shout out to Steven for winning Week 16, and for Chicago_span on Twitter, remaining the overall leader. All right, here we go. Week 17 picks, the last week of the NFL regular season. Let's hit it hard. We're going to start with the over-unders. My favorite OU play this week comes in the Minnesota-Detroit game. The number here is 52 points. Quite simply, neither defense can stop anybody. The offenses are good to very good as long as Matt Stafford can control the ball and as long as someone other than Adrian Peterson can score touchdowns for the Vikings. And I'm kind of interested to see what happens here with Toby Gerhart. I believe Toby Gerhart, who is the primary backup to Adrian Peterson, probably good enough to be a starting back virtually anywhere else in the NFL. I believe this is his contract year, so it'll be interesting to see. I can almost guarantee he won't re-sign in Minnesota if AP's still there. He is good enough to start, especially on, the lower tier, the lower half of teams in the league. He's definitely good enough to start, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to Toby Gerhart. But I'm going to tell you to take over the 52 here. Two bad defenses, like I said. 52 points is pretty manageable for offenses that are pretty good. So Minnesota-Detroit, take over 52 points. And my second favorite over-under play this week comes in the New York Giants versus Washington game. The number here is 45. Again, two defenses that are kind of iffy. I mean, especially Washington. Washington's defense is they barely have one. And the Giants can put up points, although I think you'd be hard-pressed, aside from maybe Atlanta, to find a more disappointing franchise this year than the Giants. With all that talent on the team, Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, Eli Manning's a talented quarterback, but just can't control the football and just makes too many mental mistakes. For a quarterback that's won the Super Bowl, just makes too many mental mistakes. But 45 here, I think it's a pretty manageable number. I'm going to tell you to take over the 45 points in New York Giants, Washington Redskins. And my top two against the spread plays for Week 17. I got an underdog play for you, and I got a favorite play for you. My favorite ATS play this week comes in the Kansas City-San Diego game. San Diego favored by 9.5 points. How? I get that San Diego's a good team, and I get that they're playing at home. But how in the world could a Kansas City team that is 11 and 3, 11 and 4, be a 9.5 point dog to San Diego? I understand that San Diego is trying to get into the playoffs. I understand that Kansas City has nothing to play for as they can't win their division, so they're locked in as the wild card one. I get that. But 9.5 points for a team that will likely, for the majority of the game, play a lot of their defensive starters. It's not going to be constant. Their defensive starters aren't going to be in all the time, but the defensive starters aren't in all the time anyway. I know San Diego's got a lot to play for here, but they're going to want to keep this low scoring and tight. They gain nothing by blowing out Kansas City and blowing their load before getting into the playoffs. So 9.5 points is a gift. It's way, 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 way too much. So my favorite ATS play this week is to take Kansas City as a 9.5 point dog on the road against San Diego. And my second favorite against the spread play this week comes in the Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh is, I'm searching for it now, playing at home to the Cleveland Browns. Quite frankly, Pittsburgh dominates Cleveland in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is favored here by 7 points at home. Take it. Pittsburgh's going to roll over Cleveland in this game and make it real interesting there because they're still mathematically alive. They need a ton of help, but they're still mathematically alive. Take Pittsburgh -7. That's my second favorite ATS play this week. Now let's look at the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for Week 17 in the NFL. I've already locked up a great record here on my lock picks this year, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep playing right to the final whistle. My bronze pick, again, 13-3 on the bronze pick this year, game we literally just mentioned. Pittsburgh playing at home to the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh dominates Cleveland in Pittsburgh. They're going to dominate Cleveland in Pittsburgh. So take Pittsburgh to beat Cleveland at home. It's going to be a romp. So that is going to be my bronze pick. My silver pick, where I am 11-5 on the year, has the Seattle Seahawks playing at home to the St. Louis Rams. Now, this is a divisional game, and St. Louis tends to play Seattle tight. I think if you were taking this on the spread, depending on what the spread is, you might be tempted to take St. Louis. If it's a double-digit spread, even though Seattle's at home, I would still be tempted to take St. Louis plus whatever it was. But straight up, I mean, Seattle's going to win this game. To me, it's a foregone conclusion. So I'm taking Seattle at home to beat St. Louis. That's my silver pick. My gold pick, where I am 14-2, as I mentioned, the New Orleans Saints playing at home to the Tampa Bay Bucks. New Orleans can still win their division here with a win at home. Tampa Bay's got nothing, especially against New Orleans, and especially against New Orleans in New Orleans. So definitely take the Saints here to beat Tampa Bay at home. That's going to be my gold pick. And the platinum pick to finish it off, the New England Patriots playing at home to the Buffalo Bills. Yes, New England has clinched their division. They've essentially clinched a first-round bye. All they really need to do here is beat Buffalo. And let's be honest, New England's backups could beat Buffalo. So New England's going to destroy Buffalo in New England to wrap up one of those two byes in the first round in the AFC. And now it's time to take a look at the rest of my picks for the final week of the 2013-2014 season, Week 17. Here they come. That's the Week 17 show for you, folks. That's the 2013-2014 season for you, folks. Comments, hate, and love, you know where they go. Comment section below. Now, let's talk about how my fantasy season ended up in football. Not the greatest. I finished fourth, and fifth in 3 of my 4 leagues, including the YouTube Prognosticators League, where I lost the third place matchup to the Football Guru and the T-Town Tacklers. So congratulations to Football Guru for getting third place. And congratulations to Team Takeum's Sean Ryan for winning the first ever ESPN YouTube Prognosticators League. Big congratulations to Sean. And as well, of course, to Gino Piscante, who was the second place team. But I did manage to win a fantasy football championship this year. It was in my 10-team league that I've been in for quite some time, which is commissioned by my friend Tommy George. So I did win a fantasy football championship this year. It is my 7th season in a row winning a fantasy football championship. So #Dynasty. Thank you very much. Appreciate, of course, the fantasy season and all the fantasy players out there. Can't wait to do it again next year. Now, as far as the real playoffs go, we talked about this at the end of last week's video, but let's just talk about it here a little bit again, because some stuff is cleared up, some stuff is still up for grabs. We look at the AFC, where all 4 divisions in the AFC have been clinched. New England has clinched the East, Cincinnati has clinched the North, Indy had already clinched the South, and the West was clinched by Denver. Kansas City has also clinched the top wildcard spot. What is still up for grabs is that wildcard 2, and there's a bunch of teams that are in here looking for it. San Diego, Miami, and Baltimore are all tied for wildcard 2 at 8 and 7, and all have paths to get there. And Pittsburgh at 7 and 8, surprisingly, mathematically is still alive. Denver has clinched a round 1 bye in the AFC, and if everything goes according to plan, the way that you saw it with my picks there, so the way I think it's going to go, I believe Denver and New England will clinch those 2 first-round byes in the AFC, with Indianapolis in the 4 seed hosting Kansas City in the 5 seed. That's an interesting matchup. And Cincinnati, the number 3 seed, hosting the wild card 2 winner, who I predict will be Miami at the 6th seed. We go to the NFC, where it is a completely different story. No division in the NFC has been clinched yet, which is insane. However, Seattle, Carolina, and San Francisco have all clinched playoff spots. The NFC East and the NFC North will both be decided in Week 17 head-to-head matchups, Philadelphia versus Dallas and Chicago versus Green Bay. Winner goes in, loser goes home. The Chicago-Green Bay matchup is now especially interesting with the news that Aaron Rodgers will start for the Green Bay Packers, so that's going to be very interesting. The 49ers in the NFC West and the Saints in the NFC South could still win their divisions and a round one bye with a Week 17 win and loss by either Seattle or Carolina. Well, Seattle and Carolina respectively, rather. Arizona at 10-5, one of the surprises of the league this year, could still get a wild card spot with a win plus a loss by the Saints. But if all goes according to plan, the way that I have it mapped out anyways, I believe that Seattle and New Orleans will be the two teams to get the round one byes, with Green Bay in the number 4 seed hosting San Francisco at number 5, and with Philadelphia, the number 3 seed, hosting the number 6 seed, Carolina Panthers. That's it for me, Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. And one more time, a heartfelt thank you from me and everyone else on YouTube that does football prognosticating videos. It means the world to us. That's why we do it. That's why we love doing it. Make sure that you vote for me in the 2013 Geo Knows Awards. Go to youtube.com/GeoKnows, cast your vote. Get out there and do it. I would love to win one this year. And that's pretty much it. I hope you all had successful fantasy football seasons. I hope you took copious amounts of the man's money if you decided to gamble. We're going to see each other again when I start doing my playoff picks. That's going to be huge because y'all know the sunglasses come off, the hat turns around, and the intellectual football fan comes in here. And I think with the combination of the two, we're going to have a real good playoff run here. And playoff football is the most exciting football you will see all year. Can't wait for that. See you guys all later. Thank you very, very much for taking the time to check out my videos, checking out the channel, checking out everybody else's channel. Go in the description of this video. I have a link of every person that does the football videos that I really enjoy and everything like that. I have to update the list because we've added on a couple more. But go check out their channels, check out their videos, and make sure we keep doing what we're doing. We'll see you guys for the playoff videos, and then we'll see you next season. Take care.